So Tom Reed here, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Happened to run into this lady. I'm assuming it's a Michigan fan. Your name, ma'am?
My name is Susan Wade.
Okay, Susan. I take these videos and I upload them to YouTube. You okay with that?
That would be great.
Okay. And how did you make your way to Grand Rapids?
Actually, I was adopted at the age of 4 from Korea to an American family here in East Grand Rapids. Went to elementary school, moved around once my parents got divorced with my mom, and moved around Chicago, Florida, and ended up back in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is home for me. But about 11 years ago, the birth of my daughter, onset by bipolar disorder, and since then I've actually been on and off homeless for about 3 years total. This last bout about 13 months. So I've been living actually at Hardside Park and around the Hardside district here, which is a homeless community. I guess more not only being homeless, but trying to advocate and really help in any ways that I can with the homeless here in the community. So.
Okay. So are you being treated now?
Right now I'm not. Actually have this week I'm going to take the time to actually do a lot of the things I should have been doing a year ago. Unemployment for one, 2020 taxes, disability. But it's very hard because you get caught up in a lot of this environment. Easiest way for me to explain it, it's almost like an outdoor prison yard and a mental institution combined as one.
Yeah.
It's been very, very difficult. A lot of violence this year. One of my friends was murdered on July 23rd on his 43rd birthday, 25th, July 25th. But a lot of violence, a lot of drug-related violence. And it's been very, very hard because it really makes it a struggle to be homeless in Grand Rapids. So winter's coming up. So that's
what type of employment have you had in your life?
I actually was a jewelry manager for Zales Jewelers. I have a real estate license. Worked for a local builder here in Grand Rapids, and an insurance license. So graduated from East Grand Rapids High School, which is a pretty prominent school here in the Grand Rapids area. So pretty educated and have seen the really nice bougie lifestyle of East Grand Rapids, and also seen what desolation and homelessness, unfortunately about 98% of them are African American, and how poorly they are treated by the government here in the city. The citizens have stepped up, but just for an example, 3 days before Christmas, we had an area here last summer called Tent City. We had 52 tents in Hardside Park. So each person had their own little home, and it was a community. And 3 days before Christmas, the city of Grand Rapids came in with dump trucks and dumped everybody's possessions in the truck. And I couldn't have thought of any way better to celebrate Christmas for homeless people to become homeless again. So we really appealed to the citizens, and they came out in full force in the city, the churches, organizations. But there's so much that needs to be done within the city, and so much that I think they need to actually come out and actually live this life for 24 hours and see how hard it is, how violent it is, how scary it is when it gets dark. Until they realize that, these shelters aren't what they should be. I mean, if you would bring unfortunately with COVID, everybody is one step away from homelessness. And I would challenge anybody to bring their family down here and want to actually sleep inside of a shelter where you don't know if everybody's vaccinated. I know through the grapevine I've heard one of our areas up here, Degage, which is our meal and shelter for the women, has been had quite a few people with COVID. So I've slept outside the full 13 months here, except for about 10 days, where I slept in Mel Trotter one time in Purple East when it was open during the winter. So the increase in homelessness has definitely gone the uprise, and that's what I'm really concerned about. With winter coming up, they won't let us put tents up anywhere in the city. So the city needs to figure out a solution, and they need to figure out fast, because it's September, and December in Michigan is cold. So we need the proper resources, and we need help, and whether that be sleeping bags and things to keep people warm, because even right now it may be 80 degrees in the day, 40 degrees at night, and it's trying to get everybody with sleeping bags, and people that can't walk across the street, bedding, and they're not allowed to sleep in the park anymore at nighttime. And, so the city and the people and the homeless need to come together and really work on a solution, because this is not it. It looks nice from this end looking down, but if you actually walk through the Hardside district, It's desolate, trash is everywhere, weeds are overgrown, no flowers. So it's like they take pride in the city of Grand Rapids, but they kind of forget the homeless community. And unfortunately, we have a very large district. The Hartside district is everything that the homeless need to work, and live in. And the resources are here, but the communication is horrible. The police are horrible. And so I really hope there is a solution. But really, kindness is number one. So that's what I do down here, is try to make everybody's day a little bit brighter and help the women and help the children and the couples. It's hard enough down here, and it's really hard. Everybody makes it harder on each other. So, but we're a big family down here regardless. I think some people have each other's backs. You got to really weed through what's real and what's not, especially with drug addictions. And unfortunately, a lot of these people are lost because they put their drug of choice, whether that be, crack, heroin, weed, alcohol, before their families, before their friends. And that's harsh. And it's a harsh reality to come to, that their lives are that desperate, they're stealing from their friends and their loved ones, and they can't go home. And a lot of these people's families are right here in Grand Rapids, and they can't go home. So, we lose a lot of people each year, and whether it be to murder or to suicides or overdoses, but there's got to be an answer. We got to come up with a solution, quick.
Any silver lining to any of this? Is any, thinking back in the way you articulated this, is there something that rings true to you that's helped you in any way, that's been a benefit in some way? Is it all bad? No, definitely not. There's definitely, we have the resources, and the citizens have been amazing. I made a plea out to them in December when we had the eviction notice. There's actually a no trespass on the pillars of the gazebo down here. And I went out live with Ken Coker on Channel 8 and 1317 News. And the people came out to support the people, but there's great resources. We've got, Degage, and we've got Mel Trotter, and we've got God's Kitchen, and we've got the library, and we've got, Matthew's house. But it's not communicated to these people. So if you're new coming off the street, back from prison, or, being released from Mel Trotter, or due to, being evicted, or whatever the case may be, somebody coming into this situation, there needs to be almost like a handbook that says, this is what you need to do this day, this day, this day. Because there's people out here without sleeping bags at nighttime. There's people out here, if they're not in by 9 p.m. When the shelter wants them in, they're out for the night. And that's whether it's the middle of winter, they'll kick them out in the middle of the night with nothing. Sleeping bags, shoes, boots. This man has no shoes on. He came here yesterday from Muskegon. One of the great resources we do have here in Grand Rapids is called the Red Project, and it's called Clean Works. And they give all the free drink to drug addicts. And I did an interview with New York for the exhibition out there for Red Project. Only city I know that's on the opposite side of the street is a police park to arrest them for using it. So, but there is a program. The Red Project does drug rehabilitation. They drug counseling. They do AA meetings, NA meetings, and so there are great resources in the city. We just need to be able to come together and really stop the violence. And it's not only Black Lives Matter; it's all lives matter. And I think that's really what needs to hit home. It's not just the white and the rich, and it's really everybody. Because this community, if we keep killing each other and shooting each other over drugs and over baby mama drama or baby daddies, it's ridiculous. Because a gun right now, is astronaut. We had a gunshot go off last night before dusk, and people scattered. But it's a scary situation. I was here when Mike was murdered, and it was his birthday that night, and it was complete and utter chaos. So I've seen more forensics vans in the last year than I ever want to see, and it definitely hit really close to home when that murder happened. So he laid in the middle of the street for almost 3 hours, and it was not a good situation. So I just think life is precious, and we've got to appreciate each day as it comes, and just love one another, and pay it forward. So, your favorite childhood memory?
Actually, Grand Rapids, downtown Grand Rapids festivals. You know, we have the Grand Rapids Arts Festival the first weekend in June every year. My mom actually helped start the festival, so we always volunteered. She was always a co-chair. My dad was co-chair. Arts festival, music festival. You know, I ran around from parent to parent trying to get free dill pickles and dollar bills, but it's a great experience. And so, you know, with my best friend Katie, we always said, you know, meet me under the Calder. And my mom was really involved in getting the Calder to Grand Rapids through Alexander Calder, and was good friends with him. So the arts and the community is real important to me. But there's so much that needs to be done to fix this problem. And I don't know if there's one solution, but we definitely need to get some people together in the community, some strong leaders, to try to find out what we can do to help people get into housing fast with winter coming, helping some of these youngsters get mentored into a different direction, and save some of our kids' lives, because that's what's really important.
Favorite book?
The Giving Tree.
Favorite movie?
Beaches.
Okay. Now, do you keep in touch with your family?
My mom is actually here in Grand Rapids.
And
she is the main trigger for my bipolar disorder. So she makes me very manic. And my children are here. Kevin, 17, is a senior at Forest Hill Central High School, with hopes of going to U of M next year. And then my daughter is 11.
now,
They're both with their dads.
And do they come down here and visit you once in a while?
I saw my son yesterday. Yeah. I haven't seen my daughter since Christmas.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. You know, you're such an attractive, articulate woman. Honestly, I'm shocked. I mean, you have so much going on. I'm sure you hear that all the time.
It's really
hard. I just wish the best for you. I mean, is there anything I could do to... I don't know what.
I don't know. I got a shower today, the first warm shower in a week, so that was a blessing there in itself.
I mean, you would be such a great person to be the bridge between
Well, that's
government.
what I'm really hoping. I have an inheritance that will come through eventually someday, which is my dad passed away in 2008. So I hope to come back down here and do some work. I mean, we need homeless people. I mean, if you think about it, people are like, oh my God, you got 4 carts. Well, I've got carts full of blankets for everybody that need them at nighttime. You know, we have summer clothes, winter clothes. We've got, you know, every day when the splash pad is open, I was doing laundry in our splash pad. I'm just trying to keep up with getting it dried. When it rains down here, it pours and everything gets dirty. So it's getting the resources, getting back and forth, but storage is the biggest thing. And if you don't secure it or carry it on your body, it's being stolen. I've had 15 phones stolen this year. And my car was actually physically stolen by a drug dealer out of Detroit. They came and stole my car, and GRPD never even came and filed a police report. But storage lockers are huge. If we could have storage lockers or little tiny houses against this ugly ass fencing back here, was all the way around the whole perimeter of the park, I mean, everybody would have a home. You know, the drug addiction wouldn't be out in the street where they're so concerned. I mean, I would be concerned if I owned real estate up here as a real estate agent, wanting to be urban and trendy, living in the Hardside community, and shootings are going on outside my home. I mean, what the hell does that do to my property value? I mean, there's weeds all over the place. People are walking their dogs out in this park. It should be like this. And as a homeowner at any of these, I would be really disappointed in the city of Grand Rapids, because, you know, from this end, the farmer's market, which is beautiful. I mean, this is downtown farmer's market. To down here, it's desolate, and over here, there's flowers. And you see that mark on South Division, which is really where the main homeless community and a lot of the things are. At Division and Oaks, turn to the left, it's desolate and trash is everywhere. Turn to the right, and there's beautiful bouquets of flowers, and everything is clean and weeded. And there's something really wrong. There's something really, really wrong. And I've spent days picking up trash. The city ambassadors, which are the people that keep the city of Grand Rapids clean, in their contract cannot come into Hardside Park to clean because it's too dangerous. So who cleans that park? I do, because I don't want the homeless community portrayed to the white people that we don't pick up our trash. It would be like this downtown at Rosa Park if nobody picked up the trash. But because nobody comes in and picks it up, and mind you, I have to say, homeless people are lazy as hell. But if you take pride, and I started, people are beginning to start picking up their trash. And my mom said to me, she said, what can you do for these people? I said, if I can help one person, that's all that matters. And, if I can make one day brighter for somebody, it's fucking hard out here.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So I had COVID last year on Mother's Day. Didn't get to see my kids or talk to my kids. And I was laying on the ground of the pavilion thinking, I'm going to die under here. Went to the hospital. They sent me back out 5 minutes later, gave me tramadol and sent me home. Said, good luck. So that's not how anybody in downtown Rosa Park that, has insurance would be treated with COVID in a hospital. But the homeless are treated really poorly. Healthcare sucks. There should be people out here helping these people. I mean, there are people that are here that have been here in the same goddamn seat every day of every week doing nothing different than they did last month. And they're going to still be here in 10 years. Half of them will be dead or half of them will be murdered. And unfortunately, statistics from me being here 10 years ago, half of us are gone. And it's a daily thing, and it's really, really unfortunate. But, the alcoholics out here, what can we do? Should we have AA meetings in the park? I mean, how the hell are they going to get somewhere if they're homeless? They can't afford a quarter cup of coffee. They can't get on the bus for $1.75. I mean, they need to help. They need to help the people realize that there's something better out there. I talked to somebody that actually worked for the city today. He actually brought me out for breakfast this morning. But I said to him, the one thing that he says, I don't remember what made me happy before. And I think a lot of these people don't remember that. I love gardening, I love music, I love all this stuff. But when you're sick and depressed, you hate that stuff.
Yeah. I've had my own struggles with that.
Exactly. And it's like, what did I do before? So I say to these people that are coming out, bring cards, bring knitting, yarn. We have amazing artists down in the Hartside District. Mental patients are amazing artists. Some of the prison people that do sketches and tattoos, amazing, phenomenal. And I'm trying to work with Farmers Market to set up a Farmers Market for the Hartside artists. So there's so much that needs to be done and so much that needs to be intertwined here. It's beautiful watching kids play in the park, but normal people wouldn't come and bring their kids to the park and play. They wouldn't. I mean, the people shooting guns off in the daylight. They wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't. But we had a great splash pad out here. None of the kids came out here and played during the summertime, except people that were kids in Meltrotter. So there's got to be some solutions. Instead of sitting behind the desk at City Hall, they need to come down to Hartside Park and say, what can we do? The HOT team, which is a homeless outreach team, which consists of firefighters and police officers. I've said to them, we need, art supplies down here. I mean, it is a Grand Rapids public park, but it's in the Hartside District, and unfortunately, every homeless person is down here. And with homelessness, unfortunately, there's drug addictions, there's prostitution, there's everything. So after this murder, they thought they'd put up cameras, which was a good idea, I guess. But, it's like, what about the 3 porta potties they removed right after the murder? They figured, there's people smoking crack and drugs in the bathroom and having sex. They're going to have sex anywhere. And taking 3 porta potties away from 120 some people in the middle of the night. Now you're going to be urinating and defecating outside because there's no porta potty, and that is a CSC charge. So make that make sense. There's got to be some solutions and some answers that make sense and that improve the quality of these people's lives. Because, I sat in a hot shower today and said, you don't appreciate warm water until you're homeless and haven't taken a shower in a week and you're taking cold showers in the sink in the bathroom. So, I think a lot of people have great ideas that can probably be, implemented that wouldn't cost them a thing. There's no electricity in the park except for the one freaking tower that they plugged in with GRPD cameras. They turned all the power off in the park. Well, people need to charge their phones. People need to listen to music. People need to do all this. But if you walk halfway down the block in the white community, there's outlets on the sidewalk all the way along the street. Everything is live. So why can't the black homeless community that has a high risk of, violence have power? It just does not, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense to me. I was raped under the 131 bridge 10 years ago by a registered sex offender, fourth CSC charge with me. And when I left there at 3 o'clock in the morning and woke up, I was walking from like right here along the perimeter, coming around Hardside Park, but I couldn't charge my phone to call 911, so I walked for 2.5 days trying to figure out what I was going to do because I was so stuck that I didn't know what to do. So turning off the power in the park is not going to solve the solution. I would think that turning on the power in the park would be able to give the opportunity for somebody to call 911 if they needed to. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's all crazy. The world is not crazy.
One thing that I didn't ask you, and that is, in your life or now, any substance abuse?
Nope.
Well, I appreciate the interview. This is super interesting to me. You're a unique person. You got a lot of ability.
Best. I mean,
I'm going to bring some art supplies down here for you tomorrow.
That would be great. Yeah.
Now,
if you could,
what can I get you from? I say Walmart because they have everything that I could bring you tomorrow.
Paintbrushes, some sketch pads,
You want me to get some
pencils,
cards?
playing cards,
Okay.
chessboards.
Okay.
Cheap chessboards from the dollar. Wherever.
Okay.
Checkers, anything that you would think of in prison. A book. Oh, thank you, honey. A book library. So if you have any friends on Facebook that want to donate books, mandalas, the coloring books. A lot of the women like to, draw those. Yarn. Plastic, not metal, knitting needles and crochet needles because they'll knit. I mean, we have some amazing crocheters and knitters. The people that crochet that you would never even think crochet. Things for like rubber bands and stuff like that, like for braiding, because a lot of people do and there are women down here that braid guys' hairs and get paid to do that. Nail polishes from the dollar store to make the girls feel like girls. Body sprays from anything to make a woman feel like a woman and feel girly, and just something so simple as body spray is amazing for these
I'll bring it down tomorrow. So keep an eye out for me.
Yeah, I'm usually you can usually see my carts in the park. That's where I'm usually at. Or I'm up at Hardside Ministry at 54 Division Avenue South.
Yep.
Please do not donate directly to them because they don't automatically get the supplies back to the people.
Yeah.
If you donate to Degagé, they charge you for
No, I'll give it to you.
items.
I'll give it to you.
So if you come down and just ask where China Doll is, I mean, I'm Korean, but a gentleman that I dated a long time ago used to call me China Doll. It's China Doll. So I'm usually in the park.
Why don't you plan on meeting me here tomorrow at noon?
Okay. I gotta write it down on my hand for real.
Yeah, but I park here because it's just
because they stole my phone and I have no phone.
I don't need to worry about anything. So I'll be here at noon tomorrow. And I'll have your stuff.
Do you have a pen that I can just write that down?
I do. Let me give you a.
Anything that you think that would be useful to that.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got it.
Which I mean by knitting needles, metal. No.
Here you go.
Okay.
Here you go.
What is that? 28 or 30? What was do you have a card or anything?
Yeah, I just gave you one.
Oh, shit.
That's all right. You thought it was just a piece of paper.
And tomorrow is what, Friday?
Yeah. So I'll be here tomorrow with that.
I have to write this on my thing.
Get all the things you mentioned.
At B2B, I think is what it's called, on 44th Street in Breton. They've got portable charger packs. They're $5. That, any electronic thing is huge for people down here. Music, little Bluetooth speakers, $5. That they can hook, because for me, a boombox, oh my God, if you could just give me a boombox that has batteries in that, because they steal my phone, the boombox they would look uncool with. I need the music because when there's chaos, it calms down my bipolar mania.
All right.
But music for a lot of these people calms them down.
Okay.
I mean, but if you could, a radio would be amazing. A cheap coffee pot, because we do have electricity in one tower. We can make coffee all day long if we had a coffee pot.
Okay.
So just simple things like that would be amazing.
Right.
And if there's any, if you have any contacts, I was actually going to think about calling Romance, because one of the guys' grandparents opened that. Mum plants right now, so we can plant them in the islands for fall. Anything that you can think of. I mean, this is their home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
I do.
tree hammocks. Anybody that has old tree hammocks would be amazing to hang on them. I mean, it's just things that you can imagine being outside in your backyard, because that's what these people need. Something so stupid as sidewalk chalk. I mean, like I said, there's amazing artists, and nothing looks better with art prize going on in Grand Rapids right now,
Yeah.
then artists chalking up Hearthside Park.
Okay.
You know, people are parking and walking down this street. And I mean, you look at the murals that they're painting here live all night long. He's here all night long. He was here when that gunshot went off last night. But this is what the essence of Hearthside Park. If you look from this way, if you look from this way, that way, it's complete desolation.
Okay.
It's
Well,
like heaven and hell.
well, I'll be here at noon
Literally.
tomorrow. I'll be here at noon tomorrow.
All right, sweetheart.
All right, have a good day. Good as possible.
All right, honey.
Thank you.
Do you need everything? You need a cooker, everything?
Thank you.
Yep. I'm going to grab a couple things.
All right.